Hey everyone, I'm Trading Man Dan with the chart guys. I've been trading cannabis stocks for over a third of my life. We're going to check in on the sector after a pretty good week overall. Is the Canadian side topping out with CGC, which has been leading the way, a bit of a sell-off Friday or Thursday afternoon, I should say. And we're going to check in on Florida and whether or not we're going to get this vote on the ballot. We still got to wait a little bit longer. Let's get So we'll start with the Canadian side of things, as CGC has been one of the leaders on this move up, and things shifted a bit into Thursday afternoon, which increased the probabilities for daily consolidation shaping up. And what we're watching for is if we break the lows of Thursday on Monday, we say, yep, daily consolidation is underway. And we know if the bulls are going to remain in complete control, they want to see hourly oversold conditions mark a daily higher low if we're going to try and see continuation. If we see an hourly oversold bounce and then it results in a lower low, we know things are shifting and the bulls are losing their momentum. So Thursday is enough for me, after trading fairly aggressively as a bull all week, and not necessarily aggressive in terms of position size, but just in terms of, I'm buying 5-minute EMA 12 support for a 3 to 4% move to the upside. I'm buying 15-minute EMA 12, just a lot of day trading, adding to positions, selling partial, break even, stop, and then trying to benefit from the continuation. But again, Thursday tells me, okay, slow down a little bit. Don't be as aggressive. And it was a rising wedge that stood out as the top being set. And so just posting some observations that we were making in the chat room that day. And it was, we were up here at the high of the day. And I actually tried to do a $10 stop buy. I was, typing in the chat room, and I wanted to do a $10 stop buy, sell half, quick 1% move up, and then stick my stop at break even. And I missed my opportunity. We had already broken, and then said perhaps it's a good thing because I saw there was zero follow through. So as soon as I see the zero follow through on the new high of the day, I say bulls need to be cautious of a 5-minute rising wedge, because again, the rising wedge tells us bulls are tiring. If we're breaking resistance instantly into a pullback and seeing no follow through, we need to be cautious for hourly consolidation. And you can see from that point forward, we end up dropping, 19% in 2 hours. That just shows you the volatility. We know things that go up hard drop hard as well, but that is a massive drop into the end of the day. And we're going to be watching again, as I mentioned, if we break the low of Thursday, at 813. If 813 breaks, we will be heading towards hourly oversold conditions. And it would be the first time we hit hourly oversold since this move started. And so that's an important informative point. That's the next point that I'm going to be interested in looking for a bounce trade, but it's also going to give us information as to, whether or not this move still has legs behind it. Again, I'm not ruling out that in the absence of a headline that we pull a 50% plus fade. And so my style is, again, as I mentioned, if I'm making a mistake, it's leaving money on the table. I will not be giving back profit from this move up, and I will not be bag holding. And so that means I'm a lot, more protective. I've got tighter stop losses, and that's the way I'm trading these Canadian names at this point. So that's where we stand into Monday. TLRY. So TLRY had a pretty important resistance break, but again, just bad timing because we're going to see these names do what CGC does to a certain degree, varying degrees. Some are going to be weaker, some are going to be a bit stronger, but if CGC is shaping up for daily consolidation, the majority of these names are going to be shaping up for daily consolidation as well. So TLRY broke 254 and it got to the highest level we've been at in 5 months. That's a good sign overall, but it's still a clear, that's not the kind of daily candle for confidence. We didn't close over the resistance level. And again, there's the possibility of daily consolidation. It's still an hourly uptrend here. We had the low of the day at 240. We had, we didn't break the low of the day into the close, but again, if we break 240, daily consolidation is underway. We have space on a bounce. Bears are going to be looking for an hourly lower high. If we bounce first thing Monday morning, it's a potential hourly head and shoulders. So bears are going to be scouting hourly lower highs on Canadian names' next bounce attempts. And it's just whether or not they can confirm hourly downtrends into daily consolidation to see hourly oversold. Again, we know a daily higher low is the most likely scenario on the majority of these names. We just got to see what consolidation looks like. We got to get that information to help us determine probabilities. Is it going to be increasing bear volume? Is it going to be hourly oversold into a very significant bounce? These are things that I don't try and predict what's going to happen. I know what I'm looking for to observe and to react to make my decisions. Cron, Same thing, closing at the low of the day, profit taking. And if we break that low of 261, we'll look to the next support levels will be the low of Wednesday on names. But again, keeping an eye on hourly oversold conditions. I almost care more about the response to hourly oversold if we get there versus, whether we hold support levels or not. Ideally, bulls want to hold the low of Tuesday for everything, both Canadian and U.S. sides. That is an important short-term pivot where we started some weakness. Bulls said, nope, we're not going any lower, and then saw continuation. So for all names, keep an eye on that low of Tuesday. As far as a quick rundown of the other names, ACB weaker, really struggling at $5. So very clearly one of the weakest Canadian names on this attempt, on this move. SNDL had a nice move up, but inside bar. And again, trapping some bulls where, you close nice and strong. You got a big follow through day on Wednesday, and then you open lower by 3%, and that's instantly the high of the day. And so, anybody that was looking for continuation there gets a little bit of a letdown. But if the inside bar breaks bare, daily consolidation underway, scouting a higher low, watching for oversold conditions. VFF, same deal. Nice move up, daily stair step, broke bare. So daily consolidation is underway here. Had a quick pullback again of 15% plus from the high of the day. Same deal. Do bears confirm the hourly downtrend next bounce? And do we head to hourly oversold? And we'll also be watching daily EMA 12 support, but for some of these names, that's not really in play right now because of how hard we have run up. So definitely still looking for trading opportunity, but a bit more cautious. Bit more picky, essentially. And aggressive bears, are definitely going to be looking for hourly lower highs on Monday to start this week to try and top fish the highs of Thursday. OGI, so news here, and that's how quickly relative strength can evaporate. I've been talking about the relative strength of OGI for months that I've been in a position, and we had dilution news, and that definitely took the wind out of the sails of the sector a little bit, certainly for OGI, but it's just a reminder, these names are probably going to dilute, at least some of them, into this move up and into this momentum. And it's essentially OGI was the first one to blink and, say, all right, we're going for it, and just completely decimated the bull momentum. But again, we just remind ourselves the reason these companies are public is to sell us shares. So the way I've been playing this, again, swing position entry was around 178. I forget the exact level. I believe it was 178. And this is where I lucked out a little bit because I sold half on Monday at 264. Then on Tuesday, I say, oh no, did I make a mistake? That was a quick daily bull flag, and now I only got half my position. Tried to reload where I sold at 264 on Tuesday. My bid did not fill. So in at 178, out half at 264. What's my break even? Well, 86. My break even is under $1 on my remaining half position. I then reloaded on the gap down and I had a bad entry. My mindset was, okay, I'm going to, I can reload at a 15% cheaper price than where I just sold at a couple days ago. So I jumped in pretty quick on Wednesday at 231. And my mindset was, all right, this is a half of a swing position. This isn't significant. I just want to grab this and then focus on my day trading because my day trading positions are, some of them would be 5 times the size of what the half swing. And so it was a way too early an entry. We dropped down another 15% from there. And, my stop was under 185. Whoops. Stop was under 185, which essentially meant, my break even's down there. And so that is what made me able to ride it out. But into the bounce on the end of Wednesday, I realized, I made a bad entry. So I exited what I added at 229. So just a little 2 penny loss on that half. And now I'm patiently waiting to see if I ever, want to reload here. I do expect OGI to do something like this, form a daily high or low, obviously ideally holding 203, and then a daily lower high and to tighten up. So an equilibrium is the most likely scenario, but I'm going to be remaining very patient. So break even on the half position is somewhere around $1. It's not even worth factoring in at the moment. I do have a stop under 185 for it. So can't lose with this current setup, and we'll see if I add back or not. But I was just recognizing my mistake, knowing an hourly lower high was most likely, and then getting a second chance, essentially, to fix that mistake. All right, on to the U.S. side. MSOS, and again, the positions I'm in right now, so half an OGI. I do still have a little TSNDF, but that's very insignificant. And other than that, I got MSOS and then Trueleaf, and we'll talk about those now. So MSOS, good day, good week overall. Again, just a very clear uptrend. And what I said last week was a couple cautionary things. Number one, we got to be cautious of a potential head and shoulders. But, so this is trading 101 in terms of not predicting. Say, if we lose the daily uptrend, we're going to look to tighten up on the weekly chart. And then I recognize a potential setup. All right, if we were to fail 992 and then lose the higher low, that's the weekly lower high being set. And it didn't happen. So we didn't lose the higher low. So if I'm a swing trader that wants to be protective, I can just be walking a stop up with every daily higher low. 877 is support. All right, we hold it. 903 is a new daily higher low. That's now a new support. So again, a little bit of profit taking on Thursday, as bears are definitely going to do everything they can to defend 1064. But same deal, if we break the low of Thursday on Monday, 974, bulls must maintain ideally daily EMA 12 and 903. So simple statement, if 903 holds, the bulls are in full control and don't have anything to worry about. If we lose the daily higher lows, it's a weekly lower high, and we look to tighten up a good bit of April. A couple of, a negative headline. We had the Virginia governor veto against the will of the people. You got to love when politicians do that. The House approves it. The Senate approves it. The population approves it with a majority. And one man thinks that he has the moral hierarchy of power to say, nah, I'm going to decide what's best for the people. It's so absurd. It shouldn't be allowed. How can that be allowed? Democracy, majority. It's so mind-boggling. Anyways, all about 903. Resistance, 1036, and again, the most important level, 1064. The answer we're going to get this coming week is, do we see a tightening weekly range or not? We're still seeing inverse action between cannabis and crypto in the sense that, Bitcoin was a bit green on Thursday morning, and cannabis was pulling back. And it's not an everyday thing, but it's definitely enough for me to be paying attention to as an active day trader. So as I mentioned, when I reloaded, back here, I took off my core position, a lot of it. When the break of 828 happened, I reloaded a lot of it, pretty much a non-event. Well, keep doing that. That stake's pretty important. Thanks, Twitter. So pretty important. No, that's not. I reloaded, didn't really do anything. I didn't lower my cost basis much. I pretty much just did a swap of the same thing. But what I did do is reposition from being all MSOS in my core to going 60% Trueleaf. And my thought process was, okay, we got a short-term dangling carrot of the potential that Florida is going to get this vote for sure on the ballot. And so I was looking for these Florida names to have a little bit of relative strength. And the good news is Thursday, that was clearly the case, where the Florida names had relative strength because we didn't get, there was no news from the Florida Supreme Court Thursday. And so that's good news. But now we have a headline that we're going to get word Monday at 4 p.m. And that's potentially referring to an abortion bill or the cannabis bill or both. And so we're not out of the woods yet. We're going to have to wait till 4 p.m. Monday to know if this is going to be a vote on the ballot in November or not. And of course, coming right off the back of this veto from this governor, jerkwad, that's making us realize, oh, wait, there are still individuals who think that their moral superiority is more important than the will of the majority. And so we'll have to see, whether or not what we get on Monday. I might size down a little bit on Monday. I'm not sure yet. And might just, reposition because, again, it's been a really nice move up the last couple of weeks. And if, again, my conservative mindset is, if I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be leaving money on the table, not giving profits back. My game and what I do is just give me a little piece. Thank you. That's mine now, mine now, mine now. And I protect that. I'm not giving that back. So, Trueleaf, standing out just fine. $11 base of support. Again, this upper wick on Wednesday is not real. These OTC names, you got to zoom in. These were not prices that were hit. How do I know that? Look at the volume. This volume does not dictate a shot up of 5% or whatever it was. You zoom into the 1 minute time frame and look at these candles. So did 2.2 thousand shares drive the price up 4.5%? No. So as far as I'm concerned, the high of the day was pretty much 1234, not 1284. That's a very big difference. And so I view it as the high of Thursday breaking the high of Wednesday. But simple statement, if $11 is support, the bulls are just fine. Getting over to higher highs, definitely a good sign. And resistance is, 1284 with nothing else nearby. I will look to that level, but truly to end the week, hitting the highest levels in 14, 15 months. So again, that's a great sign. There is still some relative strength here. Again, comparing names, TCNNF divided by MSOS. Best case for the bulls here would be if this is a weekly bull flag. Again, relative strength, bull flag, hoping for another bull flag. And that could potentially confirm if we do get the approval of this Florida ballot. And then also watching, again, Trulieve versus GTBIF. These are the two juggernauts that are battling out for who's the most strong tier 1 MSO. And again, same thing, possible bull flag to try and keep that going. So I'm going to be paying very close attention. Essentially, this week for me is, do I want to size down my Trulieve exposure after so far the trade is going according to plan with that relative strength. And so I'm going to make that decision on Monday, and I don't know exactly what it's going to be just yet. So Trulieve, we got those levels. Green Thumb. Again, any name hitting a higher high, good sign. Closing over 1430, good sign. As far as the key supports on the daily, it's just these little higher lows. 1292, new little higher low, 1324. So anything above 1324 keeps the bulls in complete control. And we got resistance 15 and then 1650. Bulls would love to get to a point where they can say we're at 2-year highs. That's a rounding, bottoming pattern on a long-term time frame. That would be a great sign. What does Trulieve need for MSOS to get to 2-year highs? We got a long way to go. We got to get up over 1460. But Trulieve, Trulieve needs 1611. So Green Thumb a bit closer to that landmark. Cureleaf still hanging out under 579 and a bit weaker out of the major three. And a tightening range, long drawn out tightening range. Are we going to break 579, 580, that double top, or are we going to reject and keep tightening up a good bit of April? That's what we're looking for information on this coming week. If the less likely scenario of Florida not getting this vote takes place, the Florida names are going to drop hard. It's going to impact the entire sector. MSOS will set a weekly lower high, and it's going to just be a glaring target for bears on those names. If I'm all in the full position of MSOS and that news comes out, shorting Trulieve or one of those Florida names is an easy hedge decision. So just got to be aware that this headline Monday has a pretty significant short-term impact here. And I would, my estimation, and this is just a random guess, but I would say it's maybe 70% priced in, 75% priced in that it's going to be getting a vote on it. So if that were to come out that it's not happening, there would need to be a pretty major repricing in of information. Just a cautionary tale of how important Monday is in the short term. So other Florida names, Tier 2, AYRWF. Again, big day Friday, clearly Thursday, clearly benefiting from the relative strength and the fact that we didn't get any word on Thursday. Breaking 253 is a good sign. Next major level is up at 343, but 3 psychological and then 343 are the next couple levels. And again, not a clear, strong pivot points here, but if we have to pick levels, it's $2 and then a higher low at 211. So bulls want to maintain 211 on any pullback. But again, that recent high is a long ways away still. And so need that Florida headline to try and continue climbing on back up towards that 409 level. Quick check in on the psychedelic space. So MNMD, I'm just viewing this as an equilibrium with our high, low, lower high, and we're looking for a higher low, anything above 756. The bulls ideally want to hold the daily EMA 12 to keep it a potential bull flag. If we're red to start this coming week, we're just going to view it something like that. Clearly the lead bull in the sector, clinging on to the uptrend here. And you look at CMPS, bad news on Thursday. The co-founder leaving, board of director leaving. And look at that volume. That is a ton of selling pressure on that daily bear flag. And monthly consolidation is back underway. This name has lost all bull momentum. And the only way it's going to regain is a monthly uptrend confirming. We remember MSOS, when it confirmed its monthly uptrend, it was, we're going back to the lows, the sky is falling. So CMPS needs to set this monthly higher low sooner rather than later, but we've got a very clear daily downtrend, and we know a weekly lower high is the most likely result of the next bounce as well because of the size of this pullback. ATAI had bullish news, earnings to end this past week, solid green candle. It still has work to do, but overall, I'm just watching MNMD. Again, my attention is limited in this world because I'm watching all sectors. I'm watching gold and Bitcoin and everything. And so I'm only watching MNMD right now. That's all I care about for this sector. And then I only focus on my few names in cannabis. It's essentially CGC, TLRY, OGI, I'm not really actively trading, so it's not really taking up much bandwidth. But CGC, TLRY, MSOS, Truly. Right now, that's just my major focus. And we'll see how that shifts as things develop. All right. That is where we stand heading into this week. Hope you have a good holiday weekend, Easter, and all that fun stuff. Make sure and do good things. Thanks for the likes and the shares as always, and we'll see you next time.